Okay, it's only been about 10 minutes, if that, more like 7 I think, and already this has got to such a state where only this spoon is going to be able to go through it. And at this point, what you do is just kind of move it around. Remember, heat and agitation is what really gets your soap paste cooked. So you just kind of, there's a little bit on the bottom that I can't get out right there. Scrape down, turn it, and mush it. Turn and mush. Now as we go through these, alright doggy, I hear you. As we go through these stages here, this paste is going to get more translucent or clear looking. Usually when I stop cooking it is when I can see no more white spots, because this still looks white. When I can see no more white spots and only translucent areas, that's when I know I can stop cooking. So that'll be about 4 hours, maybe even 6, depends. At this point, you can start coming in every 20 to 30 minutes and cook, or turn it and stir it around. Just kind of, this is dry mashed potatoes. That's what this is. They call it mashed potato stage, and that's pretty much it. Really dry mashed potatoes. Okay, that looks good. Now, I just want to kind of go in here and scrape a little bit off the side. Remember, I always keep the spatula and the spoon so I can get both clear. Spatula works so much better at cleaning off the spoon or scraping down the sides. Go ahead and scrape the sides with your spatula before you cover it up again. Try to get all that off, because it's on the side it cooks faster. So try to pull that into the center and let the outside cook. Okay, we're going to come back in about 20 minutes. See you then. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, and some of this is actually starting to get translucent already. I wanted to kind of show you what that looks like. You can still see down here at the bottom. Let me zoom you in. We'll go down to the edge of the chimney. I can't see squat. Let's see if I can zoom in. Well, that'll be okay. We've got this right here. You can see how it kind of looks a little translucent right over in here and right here. Right there. That's what translucence is looking like. So let's go ahead and do some stirring. I'll pull you back out if I can do it. There we go. So let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, you can see it right here. This is getting translucent right here. That piece right there. Get it in there. It's getting there. So we just come in, stir it around again, break it apart, smush, smush, smush. Now this is still kind of really loose, so that's why we really want to get that in there. It's not that it's separating, that's not it. It just needs to get stirred back up. Don't touch your crock pot, it's hot. It really, really is hot. Don't touch the silver rim of the heating base either, because that'll give you a burn. Hold the handles on your heating base. That's what they're there for. I really wish I had a different spoon. This one actually is barely able to capable of handling all this. Now you see the difference between when it's still loose and not quite cooked and getting translucent right here. This still needs to be cooked down all in there. Every time you come in here, you really want to break this up as well as you can and kind of stir them in. If you do that, instead of leaving everything in a big old lump and just allowing it to cook, it cooks faster. Now I could just stick this in the oven for 200 degrees for a day or so, and it would cook down, but I'd still have to stir it. So why do I want to stir it for 2 days? I can just do 4 hours worth. It makes no sense to me. Let's get some of that down. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll come back in another 15-20 minutes. And stir it again. Now remember, we only have to cook this for 4 hours. It's been cooking since a little bit. It's about 245, 240. What I say, 248 is when it traced. Enough so I could stop with the mixer. So I started about 45 minutes ago. So this has still got about another 3 hours to cook. And I'll bring you back during the stirrings. I don't think that I'm going to do my dilutions today. I think because I don't have enough. I don't think I have enough water. Depends on how much paste this makes. So we've got to keep some notes and figure out how much paste this recipe is going to make, and then we can figure out what our dilution rates are. Simple way to do dilution. Show you that in another video. Everybody has questions about dilution rates. So I found it was either a YouTube video, no, it was a blog post about how she does her dilutions, and it's so much easier. So we'll show you that later. And I'll be back here in about another 20-30 minutes maybe. Alright, it is 3:57. And you can tell that we're getting a lot more translucent around here. So let's go ahead and mash it up. We still got some spots on the side we need to kind of get in there. Now some blends of oils will get softer as you mash this all up during the cook. I have noticed that, and I think, don't quote me, but I think it's the olive oil and more of the liquid oils, because you can tell, look, this is creamy right here. So we've got to get that mixed back in. It's not separating. That would be something entirely different. Now you could take a potato masher into this. But you can tell it's no longer as hard as it once was. So I'm going to go in here and start mashing some of this against the side. Try to get some of these big lumps incorporated back into what is now getting softer. Believe me, it is a workout. It's a big workout. I am little person, and I have no muscle tone left. I'm sedentary for the most part. I sit around, watch TV. I will get up and make soap, but I sit down. So I'm mostly sedentary. That's why I have absolutely no muscle tone. I do not work out. More's the pity. Now that I'm old, I realize the importance of working out. Okay, now this is getting soft. Okay. Right now, I'm scraping the sides, and I'm going to pull all this to the center, if possible. Scraping off some of that soft at the bottom. Okay. Now we're going to let it set for another 30 minutes or so. Because this has a lot of liquid oils, it may get real soft before it gets translucently hard, but it is getting translucent in there. I probably ought to come stir this up more often. Let's try that. I'll come back in about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And check it again. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, as you can see, it is getting softer. I did go and get a masher out of my drawer here so I could kind of get this mixed in a little bit better. Okay, and I found my stainless steel spoon, which honestly I've forgotten that I had. This is my liquid soap spoon. Because my son doesn't put my soaping stuff back where it belongs, puts it in with the kitchen use stuff. I had forgotten I had it. So, we're going to use it.
To do that, you needed full custody, right?
I wanted to protect her from her father. What's wrong with it?
What is wrong is that a jury can now be persuaded that you wanted full custody for other reasons.
You withheld crucial information.
That doesn't change what happened.
In the jury's mind.
Are you saying Mrs. Silver lied? No, what I'm saying is the clarity of the case rests on Samantha. Your client, Mrs. Stark, had other agendas. They so muddied the water, I don't know what a jury will believe.
We wanted to protect the child.
And you put so many ideas in her head, she can't tell us anything clearly.
What Samantha told me about the showers. That the girl naked in the house. What was I supposed to do? Samantha was mixed up today. The jury knows what the father did.
I hope you're right. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Sole count of the indictment, the charge of sexual abuse in the first degree. No jury found.
We find the defendant not guilty.
Yes, I'm watching Law and Order. It's my favorite background filler. And see, this is getting soft. And that's going to be because of the liquid oils. And this is why I did sodium hydroxide along with potassium. Potassium hydroxide, I think, would have made this a lot softer. We're getting some translucence going on.
Girl's gone. And Janice Silver refuses to say where she is.
She'll have to produce the child. The husband has a court order. And they're not going to make a victim out of the mother. She's the one going to jail.
I only see one victim.
All right, that was about 10 minutes. I'll be back in another 10 or 15. Okay, I kind of lost track of time here. I don't think it's been 15 minutes. But I'm going to get in here anyway. Yeah, look how soft that it's got. Look how soft it's got. But it's turning translucent. Now, your state at this point is going to be dependent on what oils that you used. Now see, I can get in here and get these hard spots now, these clumps. I probably could get in with the mixer again. I really wanted to, but I don't. There's a lot of spots in this that need to be smashed. Now from this point, it's going to continue to get softer, really, before it really hardens up. Some more. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Arm. It's almost as bad as trying to mix it. I'm not real good left-handed. Let's see what I can do with it. Let's see if I can put the blender to it right quick and chop some of this stuff up. This particular batch has gotten soft, has re-softened enough where I can go in and try to break up these pieces. At least I hope I'm not running it. I've never done this before, but we'll see. I'm picking it up and putting it back down where I see any clumps. Okay. That's about as much as I want to do. It does look creamy again. But we know we mixed everything up real good. Here. Now this will cook down some more. I might end up putting this in the oven for a day or so, simply because of the kind of soap it is. If you do end up putting it in the oven, put it at about 200 degrees. See what happens when we come back. And it also might be because my lid doesn't really fit in here well. There's one direction fits better than the other. Okay, it's still on high. We'll come back in a little bit. All right, I'm back. my battery was running low, so I took a little break. I came in and stirred this already once. My lid's not on good. Stirred it once, and now I've got my camera plugged into the wall and letting my battery charge that way so I won't run out of battery power. So let's come in and stir it again. It is really soupy. It's not runny like it was when you were emulsifying, but it is soupy. And don't panic. For the amount of oils, the soft oils I had, even though I added sodium hydroxide, this is actually quite normal. Once it's done cooking, it is 5:05 now. This started cooking, what, about 3 o'clock? So we've still got 2 hours. Once it's done cooking, you can tell it's still got some white spots, like right there. But this is actually getting translucent right in through here. You can see the difference when you pull it up. And we're going to test this also for clarity later. You may think that you've ruined your batch because it is so soft, but you haven't. Do not panic. Just keep coming in and stirring it. It's going to harden up once the heat is removed and no more agitation occurs. Usually what I do after I've got it cooked and it tests for clarity, I will put it in a Ziploc or a one of these food savers. I'll seal it up in a food saver or a Ziploc or something, weigh my paste, and leave it in the refrigerator for overnight. That will go ahead and harden it, harden it up into a true hard paste. All we have to worry about right now is separation, which is not doing. This is not separating. It's just loose. First time this happened, I panicked. But then I just kept on cooking. And once I was done, and it tested for clarity, then I didn't panic anymore when this happened to me again. And I believe it is all because of the amount of oils that I use. I like a soap, bar or liquid, that's really high in olive oil content. Olive oil is very mild to the skin. It's very gentle. So I always like to have a high olive oil content, somewhere between 40 and 70%. Now you can just see right here, there's still a little piece that needs to be smushed down. And that's really what I'm looking for when I'm stirring. I'm looking for any of those pieces that need to be smashed down. Okay. I just saw one. We're doing pretty good. There's a couple pieces. We're doing pretty good. I'll come back in about 20 minutes. Now because this is soft, I go ahead and check it a little bit more often. See how runny that was? Watch, I'll do it again. Look how runny that is. Don't panic. As long as you're not separating, you're okay. At least in the ones that I've made. I need to order some more bottles and sample bottles. I love having sample bottles. I've got a vendor in mind. After my recent trip to Colorado, I've got a vendor in mind. I don't know if I want to go with liquid soap or just bar soap. Bar soap is actually so much more fun. It really is, because you can work with your colors. Although, you can color this with the melt and pour colors. It's fine. Alright, we're going to let that set for a little bit longer and I'll be back. Okay, I want to bring you into this a bit closer so you can see what I'm seeing. Yes, it is soupy. You notice the difference in color right in through here? See if I can point it out. Right above the spatula, right there, is a little bit darker than right in through here. That area right there is gaining translucence.
And what time did she return?
About 11. She's all that little girl has.
Make sure you keep scraping the sides, because that's going to cook faster. Take it back out again. And yes, it is. Oops, wrong way. I always do that. Yes, it is very soupy. Yeah, I switched from Law & Order to Law & Order SVU. The Nanny was my background noise series for a long time. I always enjoyed it. So when I was butterfly flitting around the house, doing this and that, getting up, getting down, whatever, Nanny was always playing. Now it's Law & Order's. Special Victims is my favorite, and I still watch it. I never followed them when they were new episodes. They were background noise to me after they were repeated. But I got so interested in SVU that I started recording all new ones, because I do like the characters in that, even though Chris Maloney's gone. This Hispanic young man. I never really watched Law & Order. I was really never a big Benjamin Bratt fan. Although he is a good actor. And everybody's gaga over him, thinking he's like the most attractive man alive. And he is attractive. But, yeah. It bothers me when people codify beauty into levels. It really, really does. So everybody sees things differently. I used to be attractive. I'm no longer attractive. My dental hygiene has sucked, and therefore I am missing teeth. That's why you won't ever see me on a video very often. If you do, it's usually just my head from an angle, so you can't see my missing teeth. So, but having missing teeth doesn't mean that I don't know how to do some wonderful stuff, and it does not diminish my personality in the least. I am still who I am. Yeah, this is really runny. Now when I do my laundry soap, and yes, I do make my own laundry soap, it's really easy. I take 30 ounces of coconut oil and 3.33 ounces of lard, and that'll make almost a full gallon once diluted. And I think you have to do a ratio of paste to water of 1 ounce paste to maybe 1 ounce and a quarter or 1.5 ounces of water. I should take some notes, but diluting that down is kind of tricky because your lard wants to float to the top, as unsaponified, and you have to keep diluting it, adding a little bit more water, a little bit more water, and I scrape off everything that's not wanting to solidify at the moment, and keep on diluting it into new water, and that's the way I do it. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Let's give this another 20 minutes or so, and then in about an hour and a half, it'll be about 4 hours. About 7 o'clock my time, it'll be about 4 hours of cooking. So what I'm going to do is test for clarity in about an hour and a half. But I'll show you another stir before then. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, it's 5:50. Hold on. Okay, I had to turn the TV down. It's 5:51, just turned. Now look how soupy that is. You're going to panic. I'm telling you, you're gonna panic, but don't. Look, it's gaining translucence. Look at the difference in color. You can see it. Get you in tighter. See the difference? There's a big glob that's not cooked yet. This is gaining translucence over here. This might be a 6-hour cook. I'm not worried that it's soupy at all. With the amount of liquid oils I put in there, it's even combining hydroxides is found to be soupy, and I've said that already, I know. Looking to see if that brown spot, that little speck I saw earlier, is real or not. It's even harder to tell now. Just get really good on the bottom. If you work it in a crock pot, and you use even a metal spoon, it won't matter. I'm not going to take the mixer to it again. All that will do is to get air bubbles in it. I only did it that one time because I remember when this first happened to me. I thought, oh my God, maybe I didn't mix it up well. Well, that was kind of impossible because it did turn to hard paste, or it did turn to the mashed potato stage, so I know I did it right. But first time I kept on doing it and it wouldn't cook right until I stopped. So I only wanted to mix up those hard pieces one time. That's all it needed to blend it back in. Okay, let's get the edges. Carpal tunnel. I need to go back to my doctor and insist that he do something. Take this seriously. Maybe it's arthritis. I'm having a conversation with my doctor in my head. That's why I was quiet. You're lucky I was quiet. I've been known to talk to myself and have conversations that I want to have out loud. Okay, let's get all this off right here on the side, and then I'll rake it down in. Maybe I shouldn't check on it quite so often. Let's give this one 30 minutes. That'll make it 6:30, roughly. and then we'll come back and check it. See you in a bit. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. Let's see what's going on here. Still have some foaming up down here. But it is cooking nice. Look how shiny that is. This is just the same as hot process soap making. Although I understand the process of hot process bar soap making with 100% sodium hydroxide, I have never attempted it myself. One day I will. And also, with liquid soap making, you can use an alternative alcohol method. I have not tried that either. Using glycerin is another possibility, and it actually, I think, it said it makes a thicker soap. I'm sure it's going to be very moisturizing. Glycerin is an emollient. See, I'm at soft mashed potato stage. Yes, dog, I hear you. It's about time for the master to come home. So I might cook this another 2 hours. I'm not sure yet. 7 o'clock will be 4 hours. I might cook it longer. We'll see what it looks like. I do have to get ready to test it. So, might as well get some water boiling. Might as well, I mean. Might as well get some water boiling. Use only distilled water, of course. Tap water or even bottled water are going to have chemicals in it that are not conducive to soap making. Distilled gets every possible contaminant out. You're going to test your clarity in distilled water. And testing clarity is no more than taking some hot distilled water, boiled preferably, and dropping a certain amount of soap paste in it, whisking it down to mix it in and melt it down. And then you see if there's any free floating fats. It'll turn cloudy if there's still some free floating fats in there. And that just means you need to cook it still. Now, I don't use any kind of chemical to test the to test the lye, to see if all the lye has been cooked out. I do the zap test. It's nasty, but it works. After your paste is done, just if you suspect it's done, you just take a small amount and put it to the tip of your tongue. If it tastes like soap, it's done. If it gives you a zap, like a battery, you put your tongue to a 9-volt battery, you get a zap like that, you still got lye, you got to cook out of it. So that's basically the test I use. I'm going to get some water started, I think, here in about another 30 minutes, and I'll come back and we'll see how this tests for clarity. See you then. Okay, I'm going to stir one more time.
Weird, but we like it.
if you notice, it's actually starting to harden up again. So maybe I need to cook it for another hour. Just a little bit after 7. So let's come back and look at this at about 7:30, because it is stiffening up again.
Honey mustard flavor. So much flavor, we had to break it into pieces. Pretzel pieces from Snyder's of Hanover. Discover them.
You can tell. It's starting to stiffen up again. I might let it set an hour.
Crest 3D White, diamond strong toothpaste and rinse. Gently whiten and fortify with spots.
Scrape some
Use together for
sides.
2 times stronger enamel. Crest 3D White. And I turn around and there's 3 rattlesnakes.
Like a good day for State Farm is there.
Don't worry, Rob. You're covered.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them. When you get up to 40% off thousands of
Don't forget to get down at the bottom.
it means you can also afford to get
Sorry
up
if
to
I jostled the
40%
camera.
back.
It's kind of in my way.
Making it the place to find a place for Memorial Day. Yeah, beautiful job. I knew you had it in you, and it was easy because of what I have in me. You know, the color-rich technology and all climate protection package. It penetrates deep for long-lasting.
Law and Order's SVU gave way to Modern Family. And I'm not a big fan of Modern Family. Although I can appreciate the humor in it, I'm just not a fan.
Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
Okay.
Out of 42 vehicles. Based on 6 different
All right.
criteria.
We'll come back in another half an hour.
11 experts.
Okay, I've done a clarity test. Here, you can tell it's just slightly cloudy. You can still read through it.
All the trees and birds.
So it's almost clear. I think I'm going to let it cook another 30 minutes. It is turning a little bit brown. I might turn it down to low and cook it another 30 minutes, and then I think we'll be ready for some dilution. We're going to weigh the paste, of course, first. But all I did to test for clarity, I just took my little whisk here, and I just dipped it in and brought a little bit of the soap out, put it in this bowl, and then added some boiling distilled water, and then whisked it all together. And this is what I've come out with.
Can you guys see yourselves staying here on your trips to Hawaii?
Absolutely.
It's pretty clear.
I was right.
I'm actually pretty happy with it. There's really not much cloudiness.
I told them that right from the very beginning.
Just a little bit. That's why I'm going to let it cook a little bit longer. All right, see you in about 30. Okay, I've got about 30 ounces, just a tad bit over 30 ounces of paste here. I've already just put it in a bowl, and what I'm going to do is to cover this bowl and stick it in the refrigerator overnight. So I'll need to remember how much paste I have, because you calculate your neutralizations according to paste weight, not dilution, full diluted soap weight, but paste weight. So I've got 30 ounces of paste here, and you can see it's pretty much translucent. I could do another clarity test if I wanted to, but I don't really think I need to. I'm pretty happy with the results from the last time, and cooking it that little extra bit just didn't hurt at all. So it's pretty much done. Show you what it looks like tomorrow.